if you don't get a hold of someone, they can't enter your funnel, and then none of the rest of it matters. Problem that I see with most investors actually spending very little time on outreach. And if you aren't going on to these other people, you're just shooting yourself in the foot in terms of contact rate. Their phone numbers were hurting them. Many were marked as spam. You guys know at this point that they monitor your phones and your phone numbers. So what does that lead you to have? A higher contact rate for the part of your list that is most important. At our last Niche Mastermind, I tried something different. Instead of just teaching, I put 5 stations around the room, and each of those stations represented a different part of the acquisition funnel. So imagine these 5 different stations around the room. One of them would represent contact rate. One of them represented quality conversations. Then we had appointment setting. Then we had the actual ability to close. And then we had contract to close. And I gave them a task. I wanted each person to go to the section of the room that represented the spot of the funnel that they were struggling with most. And what I expected to happen was to have people go to each different circle and it be kind of dispersed evenly to where there was an even amount of people in each section, but that's not how it worked. Almost everyone in the room ended up going to contact rate. So everyone was standing in this quadrant. And what was interesting to me was that most people think that they want to talk about scripts or objections or closing. And that honestly surprised me because you would think at masterminds, most people want to talk about scripts or objections or closing or tactics. But the reality is that if you don't get a hold of someone, they can't enter your funnel, and then none of the rest of it matters. So let's quickly draw the funnel just so you understand. So here is our funnel that every deal on a niche list goes through. You start with our prospects up top. Then you reach out to these people, and that's our contacts. Then you have quality conversations under that, appointments, contracts, close deals. And every deal that you've done on a niche list has gone through this funnel in some way or another. And if one stage is weak, everything underneath it suffers. So today we're going to focus on the stage that almost everyone in the mastermind identified as their bottleneck, which was contact rate. So first, before we start, let's go ahead and define what contact rate is. This isn't the amount of calls you make. It's not how many texts you send, how many doors you knock. It's simple. Out of every 100 prospects, it's how many people do you make contact with? And we usually visualize it as a percentage. And to be clear, it counts as a contact if you get a hold of the seller, if you get a hold of a spouse, if you get a hold of a relative, a neighbor, someone who helps you push that deal forward. And a healthy business should eventually get contact with 30% of their prospects. So now that you know kind of the target of how many people you should contact on your niche lists, let's move on to why everyone was standing at the contacted station. And I started asking some questions of people at that mastermind, and I identified several different patterns of why they weren't getting in contact more often. So pattern number 1 is that they weren't doing enough outreach. And the problem that I see with most investors is that they base how good their business is based on the vibes of their marketing. They don't keep track of things. They just kind of guess. And the reality is they spend most of their time going through their calendar, doing admin, emails, CRM cleanup, scrolling, and they're actually spending very little time on outreach. And if you guys are not blocking out time to spend on outreach, there's a large reason why you're not contacting more people. So, kind of a rule of thumb. If you are part-time, you're a W-2 person, let's say that you have 2 hours per day. At minimum, for our W-2 people, you should basically be spending all 2 hours on outreach. So you need to put it on your calendar that you are reaching out several times a week during that period of time that you have available. If you are full-time, you need to be blocked out 4 hours a day, typically in 2-hour chunks, to where you are doing nothing else during that period of time. You are not looking at your phone. You are not doing other things and other tasks and answering emails. You are purely in outreach mode. So this is obviously a pattern that is not rocket science by any means, but keep track of your KPIs, how much you're actually reaching out to your sellers, and actually have blocks of time that are sacred to reaching out to your sellers every single day. The second pattern is that if you aren't getting a good contact rate, it's because you're not reaching out to everyone for each prospect. So I want you to visualize this for me. Imagine there's a property 123 Main. And 123 Main has owner 1, owner 2, and many of you are calling those phone numbers, which is great, but many times in niche list situations, you need to reach out to everyone else. So you have owner 1, phone number 123, owner 2, phone number 123, and of course, you need to call each of these phone numbers. But that's not where it stops. You then have the relatives, of which there might be several different relatives on this list, and each one of them has multiple phone numbers, and you need to be reaching out to every single one of these to raise your odds of contact. Now, many of you are getting through the homeowner numbers, which is great. Less of you are getting to the relatives, so go ahead and change that. But then lastly, we have neighbors. Many times neighbors will give you great information. On nichedata.ai, we even have a feature where you can skip trace all of the neighbors of a particular property you're going after to try to raise the chance of getting a deal. But imagine you have a couple of neighbors, neighbor 1, neighbor 2, neighbor 3, and then they each have phone numbers. And just look at the amount of possible contacts here. Maybe you're going after 1 or 2 phone numbers here, but that might only be 10, 20% of the possible phone numbers of the people that might know something about that particular property. And as I started asking questions to people at the mastermind, I started asking them, like, how far down on your prospect list are you going in terms of reaching out to all these different people, the owners, the relatives, the neighbors? And the vast majority of people were stopping at the owner. And if you aren't going on to these other people, you're just shooting yourself in the foot in terms of contact rate. So this is something that is actionable, that you can control within your built time blocks, whether it be 2 hours as a W-2 or 4 hours a day for your full-time folks. You can go through each one of these, raise your contact rate immediately. The next pattern I identified with people at the mastermind on why they weren't getting good contact rate is that they were relying on one channel. Maybe that one channel was SMS. Maybe it was email. Maybe it was direct mail. Maybe it was knocking, or perhaps it was calling. Now, people answer in different ways depending on how they're comfortable. Like many years ago, Alex Hormozy, our good business friend, did an interesting video where he talked about him launching a book of his. And he launched it in several different ways. He did the physical book to where anyone could buy it and they could get the hardback book. They did the digital version. They did the audio book. And then he did a course that went over the contents of the book. And he thought that it would be the vast majority of people would either do the in-print book or they would do the digital version. But what he found was that people consumed the book almost equally in the 4 different ways that he put it out, 25, 25, 25, and 25. And the same principle holds to your outreach. If you are just reaching out by calling, well, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't comfortable with answering the phone. Maybe they would answer by SMS or email. Or maybe there are people that want to put a name to a face, and they're only going to answer by door knocking. So if you are only putting your eggs in one basket, whether it be any one of these outreach methods, you're not going to get a hold of a lot of the different people on your list. So I'm not saying that you should do all 5, but if you could add 1 or 2 of these different ways to your marketing outreach, it's going to raise your marketing or raise your contact rate. And the way that you can do that, of course, is through our Niche CRM, of which you can automate your texting, email, direct mail, and then you can schedule out your cold call and door knocking through our CRM. So down below in the description, we will link Niche CRM so you can talk with our team if you're interested in that. Now, the 4th pattern I identified when talking to our Niche Mastermind members was that their phone numbers were hurting them. Many were marked as spam. You guys know at this point that the carriers, they monitor your phones and your phone numbers. And if you're reaching out to these homeowners too much, they can mark you as spam. And once your number gets flagged, of course, anytime that you call someone, it's going to come up as spam likely on their screen on their phone. And then the odds of them picking up go down significantly. So there's a couple of different ways that you can fix this. Number 1 is that each day you can warm up your phone numbers. What does this mean? Basically, you could take your own cell phone, right? And you could call one of your marketing phone numbers. And what you're going to do is just let the phone ring, go ahead and answer, and you don't even have to talk or do anything. Just let the phone ring or be answered for about 10 to 15 minutes. What does this do? It actually gives the carrier a signal that, hey, this is a good conversation right here. This is a legit phone number. And this is something that you should do every single day to warm up your phone numbers. It sounds kind of hokey, but it works. Secondly, when you get a new phone number, you want to warm up new phone numbers. So perhaps in whatever tool you're using, you buy a new phone number, you need to do the same activity as number 1. You need to call a lot of people, whether they're on your team, whether they're your family, your friends, and just call the phone number, answer, and let it go for quite some time. And this again gives the carrier a signal that this is a good phone number. Now, if you are doing these activities and you're noticing that on your phone you call over and the marketing number is spam likely, this is a sign that perhaps you should let that phone number go to rest. So number 3, you need to be prepared to buy new phone numbers. So if you have spammed numbers, you don't want to keep using those. That's killing your marketing. So go ahead and buy new phone numbers, let the old ones rest, and then perhaps after a time bring them back and see if they're not spammed as much. Now, the last one, pattern number 5, is that I want you guys to work off of a gold, silver, bronze method. Gold meaning your best leads with high equity, silver meaning slightly less important, and bronze, very low equity, low motivation situations. We obviously want to spend the majority of our time right here on this gold and, some of our silver list to where we're focusing on those high equity situations where deals are viable. And if we limit and filter our list to these opportunities, what does that mean? It allows for more attempts, more deep research, reaching out creatively through Facebook or other means to where you're giving more effort that is perhaps not scalable to the best of the best leads. So what does that lead you to have? A higher contact rate for the part of your list that is most important. Now, I've put together a contact rate playbook to where I've put the 5 different patterns that I identified from the Niche Mastermind into a nice document, and you can take that back to your business and start increasing your contact rate. So if you would like that document, go ahead and comment the word contact down in the comments, and I'll be sure to send that over. Again, as we go through our funnel that gets all the way to a closed deal and a paycheck for you, what matters is what is at the top. How many people you contact. The more people you contact, the more people that can go through your funnel, and you would have the opportunity to serve. So please take this contact rate playbook, go ahead and implement it into your business and see how it changes how many people you have conversations with each day. I hope this has been helpful. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.